Well, are the walls closing in on Prince Andrew? Yesterday, the Duke of York's lawyers were officially served with legal papers in a sex abuse case launched by former Jeffrey Epstein teenage sex slave, an Australian Virginia Giuffre, who claims Prince Andrew sexually assaulted her 3 times in 2001. Now the Queen's second son, who according to royal insiders is under great stress, has just 21 days to respond to the civil action. For more on this, we'll head to the United Kingdom and speak with the royal editor at the Daily Mirror newspaper, Russell Myers. Russell, appreciate your time. This has even reached us here in Australia, this ongoing question about whether there would be legal service of the papers. We know that's happened now. So what happens next?
Well, it's a very interesting question because, the Duke of York has been essentially playing cat and mouse with the legal representation of Virginia Giuffre, first claiming that he hadn't been able to have been served these papers in this civil lawsuit, claiming sexual assault that Virginia Giuffre claims he sexually abused her over 3 occasions in 2001. For his part, the Duke of York has always vehemently denied these cases. However, he instructed his London-based lawyers to essentially try and get this case thrown out. Well, that hasn't worked at all. He was forced to appoint a new US attorney who seems to be taking the case far more seriously than the UK representatives. He has been served those legal papers now, and he will have 21 days to respond to the case. We still don't know how he is intending to carry out his defence on that, because as yet it's been a complete wall of silence from the Duke. And certainly my understanding over the last couple of weeks is that Prince Andrew's inner circle has been really putting pressure on him to dump his legal team and to have a new tact. But it seems as though his hand has been forced, and he will have to pursue some sort of defence now.
So we know that he went to Balmoral up in Scotland, basically hiding behind his mother's skirts. I think the Queen's very good to put him up. His daughter, Princess Beatrice, has had a baby, I think in the last 24 hours, a little girl. It doesn't appear he's come down to London for any of that. Give us a sense of how the news has been received inside the royal family, and how do the British public feel about the Duke of York?
Well, certainly the British public are at an absolute loss to describe his behaviour, and I think that there's been widespread condemnation of the way that he has gone about this. These charges are very, very seriously indeed, and how he can still be going about his business and not be facing them head on is absolutely beggars belief. However, I mean, we'd still come back to this point of that he had previously said on national television, and which was seen by millions around the world, that he was prepared to help the authorities. He was prepared to give those victims of Jeffrey Epstein, those sexual abuse victims, closure. However, that does not seem to be happening at all. The pressure is ramping up. Certainly my understanding is that members of the royal family were very, very concerned indeed. This has not been only damaging for his reputation, but it's incredibly damaging for the reputation of the monarchy throughout the whole world. Now, the fact is that he hasn't been very good at dealing with this, and I presume now that his US legal team have got to get a hold on this very, very quickly, because if they don't respond at once, then it's going to be very, very uncomfortable for the Duke of York moving forward.
So the next key date in all of this is 21 days hence, and you think that he'll have to deal with it head on, that he won't be able to try and run from it. You're right. He said in that interview that he would be forthcoming and assist the authorities in any way he can, but that's not been the case.
Well, it hasn't been the case, and I think that that's part of the public revulsion, really. That he said one thing in public and is doing the absolute opposite. He fled to Balmoral at his. The absolute ludicrousness of the situation, where he was instructing taxpayer-funded police officers to not accept these legal documents at his home in Windsor. Then he fled up to Balmoral, a Scottish castle, staying at his mother's house, so he couldn't receive these papers. However, the judge in New York was not particularly happy with the situation. He told them to get a grip of the situation. That has now happened. there may be a situation where his legal representatives do apply for more time than this 21 days. However, I don't think the judge in the United States will take too kindly with that. They've had more than enough time to get their ducks in a row, and the countdown is on now. So yeah, listen, we'll have to wait and see what the defence will be.
Well, there's mothers at the apex of the constitutional system in the United Kingdom. You can't hide from the law. Russell Myers, thank you for your time.
Thank you.